Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a ranked game in my black. Going over the matchmaking, the enemy team has a Jean Bart, double Musashi, Jutland, Kitakaze, and a Tashkent. Looking at my team, we're looking at Iowa, Jean Bart, Musashi, Black, Kitakaze, Udaloy. This game is kind of interesting. I am the only radar on either team, and that's nice because I get to try to abuse it. Now, kind of the play style here. Um, these DDs, they've got a firepower advantage. Jutland has, in my opinion, a firepower advantage over a Fletcher. Um, the issue, however, is going to be that they're going to have a very hard time trying to counter my radar. Um, and it's my intention to use my radar to let my Kitakaze and my Udaloy, just work people over. And if I don't even have to shoot, I'm cool with it. But, it's one of those things that a lot of times it's better for you to jump in because your DPM can allow your team to kill somebody that much quicker. And it can ensure that, an enemy ship doesn't slip through your fingers because, as I showed in a previous video, if a team's able to pick up repairs, that guy can recover a lot of HP in a hurry. So at this point, I'm just gonna drop torps up here, just in front of this cap. These torpedoes are slow as hell, so I'm just anticipating somebody pushing up and scouting in this sort of area after picking up this cap. So that's kind of what those torps are angled, or that's what their intention is for. Um, at this point, I am pushing up, and just what I'm doing here is, these objectives are, just before it's coming up for cap. I'm basically trying to see if I can pick any DD up around here before I expose my ship to detection. So, pushing right in there. That cap, a lot of people would consider that, oh, whatever, it's just, a consumable buff. That's actually really nice for a black because your radar, your smoke, your radar, it's really nice to get those buffs on it because you cycle right through. Excuse me. Um, any of those buffs stack really well on black. Um, they'd probably do pretty good for Kitakaze too with the torpedo reload. That's a nice long cooldown. We've got Kitakaze versus Kitakaze, so it's important that my team jumps in there before they, mangle each other. Uh, same ship versus same ship duels. You always have the potential to basically kill each other, and in general, that's not a good trade. You should always try to be, 2-on-1 and have some sort of advantage, so you're able to come out of that with a good HP trade. I spot the Tashkent, and honestly, this Tashkent, I mean, I don't recommend the ship for this mode, but he's just playing this really weird. He's not really trying to gunboat. Honestly, he's playing this more like a torpedo boat, and it's just very strange.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Now, one thing to note, his Tashkent torpedoes, if you're pushing into them, they're no joke. I mean, they're sneaky. And they reload fast. I mean, the only thing they really have is just kind of crap range. pushing up here to spot this Jutland. And here basically instantly smoked up, and that let me get a couple shots on this guy without really even needing radar, because he's still out of his smoke. He's still detected by my Kitakaze. So just gonna work this guy over. I know he's torped my smokes, so I need to play safe. I do go on ahead, pop my radar to try to, you know, get some follow-up damage on this guy. A lot of guys will immediately repair after they drop off, and any sort of follow-up fire, that would be really nice to kind of put a little more pressure on this Jutland. So he's bailing out, and I'm just gonna bail out of my smoke. Mainly just because of a torpedo threat, and I think that is the yeah, that's the Tashkent 3 and 3. Thought this John Bart was gonna keep pushing up here. Thankfully he's turning back, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to sneak this cap. It's really important that we deny these caps, you know, the repairs to the enemy team. So, you know, this is kind of a do whatever we need to do to make it happen. The Udaloy gets the double repair, and I'm cool with that because he's more likely to take damage over the course of the game than I am. Black torpedoes.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
At this point, this Jean Bart's, he's all alone. Damage control's down. He just shot, and just gonna keep working on this guy. We want him dead. I know this Tashkent should be opening up on me. Should be trying to suppress me. For some reason, he's not, and you know, I'm gonna run with it. Jean Bart shoots some HE at me, and I knew he was gonna shoot at me, so I just slammed on my brakes. Now I'm just gonna kite out, get safe. I've got the, you know, I believe there's 2 fires on this Jean Bart, so, you know, pretty happy about, you know, where we're sitting. Just gonna disengage here. Now this is kind of a sketchy situation. I've got a Musashi going 2v1 against 2 Musashis, and he's giving broadside to a Jean Bart that, yeah, that guy is dying, but you're giving him the opportunity to wreck you in his final moments. So I don't like this play. It's just too risky for me. Tashkent pops up. I know there's going to be torps flying around. You know, just pretty much just playing safe here. I mean, if this Musashi dies, it's not the end of the world, but I'm looking more, you know, what can we get for this? What's a good trade? And I see the Kitakaze pushing out there, smoking up. There's the torps, and I'm gonna go on ahead, smoke up, then radar, and then go to town on this Kitakaze, and just try to work on this guy. This Kitakaze is turning in rather than out. And I feel that that's kind of a mistake. He's just taking too much damage there, and we're able to finish him off with some couple blind shots. Now at this point I go on ahead and drop torps on the Yamato. I see the Tashkent he's finally trying to gunboat, so throwing some shots back his way, but I want to get moving because torpedoes. And I mean, that could have been a really nasty cross torpedo situation if I hadn't gotten out of that smoke when I did. Now you can kind of see the effect that that double bonus had on my radar cooldown. I'm already at 27 seconds, and that's really nice when it comes to this sort of situation. Now me and this Tashkent should be shooting me right now. This guy's trying to torp me. For the life of me, I don't know why. But I'm just gonna go with it. I do land a torp on the Musashi over there. And basically to disengage, I'm just gonna go to the island. I don't really want to sit out here and try to pick a fight with a Tashkent, because, you know, this type of fight, that's in the Tashkent's favor, so I'm just going to disengage rather than deal with him trying to kite away and sniping at me. So at this point we're looking at almost 87,000 damage. I'm coming up here and just kind of making a blocking position, denying these battleships this position. The Jutland pops up again, and just smoking right back up, and just the old black 1-2 punch. You know, Jutland has a couple tricks up her sleeve, and well, so does Black. And you know, this is nice being able to have this kind of thing. It's a little broken, but you know, is what it is. I mean, it's weighed by the fact that you basically have a very hard time torping any maneuvering, you know, cruiser, battleship, you know, and destroyers are incredibly hard to hit if they're not pushing into your torps. So, in some ways, Black is balanced. In other ways, she's strong as hell. And for this particular type of fighting, she's strong as hell. I like her more than Kitakaze, more than Jutland. She just brings so much utility to your team.
Attention, reporting the target position.
My team finishes off the Tashkent. And these games are often like this. They start to spiral out of control, and you can see the moment in time where my team just, at this point I've got 10 buffs, and you know, that's just so incredibly punishing for, you know, teams trying to deal with that. And you know, it's just one aspect to arms race where you really are paying dividends early on, as far as you know, everything that's going on over the course of the game. Our Kitakaze goes down to the Jutland. Might have been blind fire. The Kitakaze was kind of low HP anyway. He probably shouldn't have been shooting in smoke. But that's also a good play on that Jutland's behalf. If you know, either he snuck up there and hydroed him, or he actually blind shot him in the smoke. We land a fifth torp hit, and we're at 106k. And you know, the torpedoes, they've basically been, you know, kind of lucky hits, just, you know, a hit here, hit there. Um, Honestly, the gun, radar, and smoke combo is really what makes black a good combo in arms race. You're able to pick a fight with most DDs. Uh, you know, you've got the radar and smoke combo to fall back on.
Torpedoes, direct front.
You know, something to note, black
Torpedoes, direct
is
front.
much slower than a regular Fletcher or Chung Mu. Both of those are able to go basically almost 40 knots. And, you know, even with speed flag,
Smoke generator started.
black kind of tops out at like, you know, high 37s, low 38s. So that is something that you need to kind of try to account for, that if you're getting chased by radar cruisers, something like that, uh, you can't get away from them like you normally could in one of the faster destroyers.
Smoke screen set.
So at this point, we're getting ready to cap the final objective. Um, this Jutland, I don't understand this. You know, surviving doesn't mean anything. At the very least, excuse me, at the very least, try to do something to save your star. But this guy's just going to keep running. And, you know, here's a good thing to note. It takes forever to cap that final capture point, but look at the points. It's 10 points every second. So if that gets capped, you are under extreme pressure to get your butt up there and get back into the cap, because the end is nigh, and points are going to run out on this. I basically, my Iowa had eaten torps, and rather than, you know, risk the Jutland smoking up and just blind shooting him, I just dropped smoke for the guy just to keep him concealed, and this game ends. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you later.